And welcome to the Geeks Respite. I'm Hoyt with Ben and JP. This weekend was San Diego Comic Con, and we're going to talk about some stuff that stuck out to us. So sit back and enjoy it. Everyone say hi.
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 Hey.
What's up?
Thank you, guys. All right, so JP is with the Masters of Divinity, of course. Ben is puppetron.wordpress.com.
Yes.
Gotcha. And we're just three geeks talking about stupid stuff. So we're going
It's
to
not
start.
stupid.
Yeah, it is.
It's still real to me, damn it.
We're talking wrestling later, not this show. But yeah, it's still real to everybody. So how has your guys' time been since last show? What have you been looking into? What have you been watching?
What I've been watching?
We know about. Okay, I know about what you've been watching. Like
Yeah.
7,000 hours of independent film.
A good number, I would say, of short films. And yeah. That process is over, though. We're going through the selection process of putting together a festival. So it's
Awesome. And
Yeah.
when is that?
September 15th.
Oh, the day before my birthday.
And
Yeah, exactly.
what is this festival? Because nobody said it yet.
The Norman Film Fest. It's no longer the Norman Film Festival. It's the Norman Film Fest.
Was festival too long to put on the t-shirts?
I think it was. I think. No, I don't know. I think they just like Film Fest. It's cleaner.
Gotcha. That's
And
nice.
that's in Norman, Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah, middle of nowhere, but still looks
As
like a good
opposed to
show.
all those
And,
other Normans.
You know, and if I can say, I'm not just tooting our horn here. I have some experience working in film festivals like AFI-LA, Tribeca, the Dallas National Film Festival. This is actually the first film festival I worked at that was like in a very small town. I worked in very small festivals in big cities, but never like the small town, small festival. And I have to say, like, our selection is really good.
Awesome.
Like, it's really, really impressive.
Hold on, you dropped some things. I think their names. When you touch them off,
He's flagging you for name dropping.
Well,
That's 15 yards. Repeat it down.
because of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to. Anyway.
He's pumping the fest.
I know. He's
Good
good.
call.
And totally going to go watch this festival. So.
Totally. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're in Norman, please check us out, normanfilmfest.com.
Awesome.
And what have I been up to?
What have you been up to? What do you want to pimp out?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Just still working on Tale of Two Wastelands, basically.
Awesome.
Everybody's just taking apart the stuff I built and making it better.
Well, that's when you know you did it right, when people want to tinker with it and make it better.
Is this the stuff you mod for Fallout?
Yeah. The Tale of Two Wastelands is the mod that puts Fallout 3 into the Fallout New Vegas engine
Oh,
alongside Fallout New Vegas, so you have two games in one.
okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a great undertaking, and most of the stuff I built was, let's get this thing working. So a lot of my code and stuff is just really basic and very sloppy in places. So some of the people are taking it apart and doing it in incredibly fun, like arrays and stuff that I don't understand.
So, okay, you guys have been working on this like 5 years.
I've been on it myself for 4 years.
Right.
Our lead tester, who is the guy who's been on the team the longest, has been on since 2012.
Jeebus.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you're not going to be able to like pull in Fallout 4 or 76 into all this.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Engine limitations. They're entirely different engines.
Right.
You'd have much easier time putting Fallout 4 into Skyrim.
Oh.
They use the same engine.
Well, that explains some of the people going, they exist in the same universe.
Right.
We can talk about great urban legend.
Yeah, other than that, nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, people need to check out your WordPress, and
Right.
we're going to get into some some normal topic-y stuff that you do on there today on the show. So if you like that, then please go Patreon this man. So, all right. So this week was San Diego Comic Con. Now, some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight is not directly from the show itself, but everything kind of just vomits itself up during this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of outlets put their best foot forward. Just so they can stick out because everyone's covering.
Right.
Right, and everybody's watching too. All of us are watching and want to see what's coming up in comics and movies and all this weird interconnected world that has grown up way more than I ever thought of 25 years ago when I was a kid.
None of Comic Con to be this big a deal.
No.
Do you know when it made its like first big splash? Like when it first kind of made when geek culture like ground zeroed.
It was Twilight.
No, before that.
It was before that?
It was the year of Lord of the Rings, Attack of the Clones, Spider-Man, and Harry Potter.
Huh.
It was that year. Because those were that was when all the studios started to really take notice that Comic-Con was a place to peddle everything.
Yeah,
so what was that, like 2000?
2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been 2001 because the Spider-Man trailer that got deleted because the buildings he was attached to disappeared in between the trailer and the movie.
Yeah, and I think it was actually the Lord of the Rings. I mean, if you just put yourself in that mindset for a second.
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings panel, a Spider-Man panel,
Yeah.
a Harry Potter panel.
It's just amazing to think of. But now we get things like like the Venom panel that they had.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, really underwhelming. And especially
Shocker.
Yeah. and apparently when they were showing some of the
Wasn't
footage,
Shocker Jamie Foxx though?
no, that was Electro.
What's the
Shocker?
difference?
Shocker was in Homecoming, and it was played by I don't remember.
There
I will
were
look it up
two
later.
Shockers in that movie.
There were, because they killed the first one and gave it to another dude.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
For a movie that's like 3 years old now.
Yeah. The Venom show was kind of and then they showed footage of it, and then there was no spider symbol on Venom. He was just a black suit. And they've come out and said that there's not going to be a spider symbol on Venom. It's just going to be a black suit.
They said that at the panel?
No, after the panel.
Okay, that's good. Because, that's why Hall H is still there. Okay.
Right. If they had said that during the panel, there would have been fire.
Yeah.
More so than normal in Cal. But one of the big announcements that happened.
Too soon?
No.
Too soon every year.
It never stops. So
They have a wildfire season in California, man.
Exactly. But so Thursday.
Just like we have tornado season.
Exactly.
And we pray for more.
So Thursday, before the show actually even got started, they dropped the Titans live action series trailer.
What a ride.
What a ride. I mean, it is just amazing how true and honest to these characters this trailer was.
Fuck Batman.
Exactly. Marry Aquaman, kill Superman.
Can I go with Black Manta instead of Aquaman?
I guess.
Okay.
So okay, that's one of the first things that hits you in this. They are going for dark and gritty with the Teen Titans.
Just a little bit.
DCEU does.
Right, but this isn't supposed to be connected to like Batman v Superman and all of that.
It doesn't matter if it's connected or not. They're making a DC movie.
That's just what DC wants to do, man. That's just
what the studios
think we want.
want.
That's just who they want to be.
They
think we want the polar opposite of Marvel, and we kind of want
something
better
in between.
movies.
Something in the middle of those two. So Titans has, like in the comics, Titans has been the kind of like the edgy one.
Well, yeah, Titans is dark by itself.
Right.
And really bright colors. Though.
Well, okay, the Teen Titans dealt with a lot of real teen stuff. Like issue 3 is the first scene in a comic book of two characters in bed together, obviously naked. And of course it's Dick Grayson and Starfire,
who's usually mostly naked.
Right. So, and that caused an outrage. But even
and when was that? What year?
83, 82, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so way before it would have been fashionable in the 90s.
Right.
So Teen Titans have always been.
Yeah. Because Marv Wolfman really wanted to represent teenagers.
They may not have been dark and gritty, but they were definitely gritty this entire time.
Yeah. Raven and stuff with like Trigon and End of the World, and it was never just superhero-y End of the World stuff. Like it was like demonic, and Trigon is a demon from another dimension, and Raven's his daughter, and they've always tried to work this stuff in. Even when Jeff Johns was doing the Teen Titans reboot in like early 2000. One of the first things that happens is Impulse and Robin and Superboy are off tracking down Slade, and he puts a shotgun right against Impulse's kneecap and blows it out. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deathstroke's no joke.
No, he is not. He is a pedophile, but he is no joke.
If I may put on my fedora for a second, the proper term would be ephebiophile.
So, all right.
I hate that argument.
I see that look of confusion in your eyes. So,
it's his entire face.
It's
He's got a confused face
No,
right now.
a lot of things are starting to kind of fall into place, and like what DC has always been trying to do. And
okay, so the Judas Contract, one of the best Teen Titans stories ever. Tara shows up, she betrays the team to Deathstroke, nearly destroys them all. She sacrifices herself to redeem herself. Underlying all of this, how Deathstroke gets her to cooperate. It is heavily implied they're stiffing. Tara's 15.
That's Yiddish for fucking.
Yeah.
Slade's like 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Using it strictly to manipulate her. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Titans has never really shied away from like mature content, but it's always most part been really intelligent, and it hasn't been insulting to the fandom. Whereas the trailer that we just all watched, very much insulting to the fandom, because it's just like, we're dark and edgy. It's like someone turned the Titans into 13-year-old, 90s kids with, Bauhaus and bad haircuts and razor blades.
Hugh,
when I was watching it, when Robin said that line,
Fuck Batman?
yeah,
After killing a dude?
I had to pause, and I laughed very hard.
Absolutely. It was the most ridiculous thing in that
laughed
trailer.
so hard and like I would say there was a split second that felt like an eternity where I was questioning the reality of this trailer. Like I was
Right.
like, am I being punked? Is this a joke? Is this a fan film? Is this?
And the thing is, the costuming doesn't help.
Yeah, that's another thing, because like right after that shot, like there's a close up on like the R that it looks like a Power Ranger styrofoam weapon.
Yep.
Like it looks like polystyrene. Polystyrene, yeah. Like it
Oh
does,
yeah.
yeah.
And I've seen cosplayers do way better representations of these characters.
Right. And then as it sort of kept rolling along, I suddenly had a thought. Oh my God, this is just like Riverdale.
Yeah.
the
You
the
mentioned
TV
that.
show
Yeah.
with about Archie and
The
Jughead.
Right.
the super dark and gritty Archie show, which I watch and love.
I'm not kink shaming you here.
It's not a kink. It's a great show. It is so good. But I think that is CW is Riverdale, and I know that DC is. This is for their streaming platform, right?
Yeah. This is their all access type thing.
I think they're cribbing on Riverdale's success.
Totally.
Like
I kind of got that CW teen drama show feel.
yeah,
from it.
like the gritty teen drama. Like
Yeah.
Riverdale's super gritty. Like
Right.
and it's like ridiculous. Like there's like a whole subplot going on right now where Archie is starting a gang of vigilantes called the Red Hoods.
Wait.
Yeah.
Really?
Red Hoods?
The Red Hoods.
Yeah.
Jason
is it the Red
Todd?
Hoods or is it the?
Is Jason Todd showing up?
No.
Okay.
Is it the Red Hoods or?
But that would explain
No,
Titans.
I don't think it's Red Hood. I think it's the Red Circle.
Okay, that's a little.
But they wear red hoods.
I'm telling you, you're right. There's gonna be some crossover between Titans and Riverdale.
This is gonna be weirder than Punisher.
Yeah.
Meets Archie, or
It's. I think,
Predator meets Archie.
let me just tell you right now, okay? It starts off with Archie banging Mrs. Grundy. All right. And then
It does actually.
And then
That's your first shot is Archie on top of Miss Grundy?
Well, in her car, in her Volkswagen.
And very uncomfortable.
Oh, like
Yes,
the back
that's
seat.
it.
They
of a
look very
Volkswagen.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kevin Smith.
And then you find out, and this is spoilers, but you're not going to watch this shit.
No.
And then you find out in the second season, Mrs. Grundy isn't actually Mrs. Grundy, but when you find that out, you find out she's basically just like a pedophile seducing kids, and then she gets murdered. And that's what starts the Red Hoods.
Are you sure I wouldn't watch this now?
I kind of want to watch this.
Watch it! It is so good!
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
All right,
yes,
so
it's
okay.
amazing. And Skeet
That's what we're
Ulrich,
doing tomorrow.
Skeet Ulrich is Jughead's dad.
Okay, that actually had me interested because he's amazing.
And Matt Dillon or is it Matt? Is it Luke? No, Luke Perry.
It's Luke Perry.
Luke Perry is Archie's dad.
Yeah,
it's awesome, guys.
Does
watch
he still
Riverdale.
have the iconic chops?
No, unfortunately, he doesn't.
no.
Oh.
So
I'm just bringing that up because I'm saying I was noticing that as I was watching the trailer. I was like, you know what? I think I could probably enjoy this then. If I like Riverdale, I could probably like this.
Okay. I have to watch Riverdale before I can agree or disagree with this. But I need to go back to the fact that what you said originally, it looks like a fan film.
Yeah.
They spent millions of dollars on this, and I know cosplayers for like $10 could make better costuming. Considering Beast Boy,
oh yeah, that looked bad. Oh jeez.
because Beast Boy isn't green.
He's not.
He's
What is
not.
he?
He's just a white dude with green hair.
In the trailer?
He looked green to me, but
No, they showed some stills away from that. They did something to the trailer because
Oh.
they have shown like other photos,
really.
like production photos, not like on set, but like, hey, these are promo photos and stuff.
Well, maybe they're coloring him in post.
Well, why would you release the promo photos without the post work? But
Quick side question: did Dove ever cut off people's limbs with his wings? Is that?
no, because Dove was the what was the avatar of peace and pacifist.
Okay.
Hawk was the avatar of war, and he would just fuck people up all over the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
However,
okay.
that's why Hawk and Dove, because one of them's a pacifist, one's not, and they were trying to save the world. Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
They were trying to save the world, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But
Blah, 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 blah.
my other real issue is that Raven's 14.
Right.
Beast Boy obviously isn't a teenager. He's like young 20s. That means one of the key relationships of the Titans never happens.
Or it does happen,
In like season 4 or 5.
and it's weird.
Really weird because she's going to be like almost 30.
He probably just won't age through the entire series, so when she gets to be mature,
Right.
18-ish, then they'll start stooping.
Yeah.
Stooping's the word, right?
Well, that's the word that won't get us demonetized.
Oh. But we already said fuck so many times.
I mean, if Archie is banging Mrs. Grundy.
It's stooping. Stooping.
Miss
Um,
Grundy.
But overall, it gives the feel of like a fan film. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a real DC product, and doesn't make me want to buy their service.
I don't know. I've seen DC films slip recently, and they don't feel like DC products.
This is true.
It's like they had Zack Snyder do every film.
They kind of did. They kind of did.
They were like, I like what you did to the Watchmen. Can
That's-
you just do all our movies?
Except maybe, of course, Shazam.
Which we're going to move on to the other DC announcements too. So we got trailers for Shazam and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Now Aquaman I haven't seen yet. I did like the Shazam trailer.
Shazam looks great.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that one.
It totally feels like kind of like their version of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yes.
Which I
did have
skipped.
that thought. You should see it, man. It's
Yeah, it's
Everybody
it's
says I
really-
should see it, but movies cost money, y'all.
It's,
And
No.
when they don't, I have to pretend I didn't watch it.
No, we have Netflix and Amazon Prime now. I'm pretty sure you can watch it.
If you insist.
Not right now, but
right.
so DC made a lot of like. I think of the two, of the big two, DC made more pushes for announcements this time. Right?
Yeah, they did.
From what I've heard, Aquaman sounds amazing. The trailer was really good. There were armored sharks.
Well, with laser beams attached to their freaking heads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just haven't had time to see it yet, but I'm going to see it.
Are those for attacking people, or are they guidance lasers?
Both. We don't know yet. But also, Shazam got released. That looks really good. That looks like...
Shazam looks amazing.
Do you know who's directing that movie?
No.
I don't.
David F. Sandberg.
Why do I know that name?
He directed Lights Out recently.
Okay.
And then he went on to direct Annabelle Creation, which is the spin-off of Conjuring with the Annabelle doll.
Oh, okay.
The one that takes place with at the orphan's house.
Yes.
I've only seen the first 20 minutes of that.
Lights Out is the horror... Well, I haven't seen it at all. Lights Out is the horror film that was based on the short.
The short with the lady
light
flipping
switch.
the light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
David Sandberg is our age, and Lights Out was his very first film ever.
What, 2 years?
2 years ago.
2 years ago? Year and a half, something?
Yeah, now he's director of Shazam.
Yeah. And from the looks of it, this feels like Shazam. This feels like Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it definitely has that it's not kiddie, like it's not like little kid. It is definitely, it knows where it wants to aim at, and I think it's going to hit it really well.
Yeah. What was J.J. Abrams' first movie?
What do you like? The first one he directed?
Yeah.
I think it was Mission Impossible 3.
It was.
After he had done television work before.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he produced Alias and Lost and wrote the treatment for Armageddon.
I'm just saying, you know, it might not be as bad as we might think.
No.
Abrams turned out great.
I think it's going to be amazing.
I'm just saying that
of the upcoming DC films,
I'm impressed as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Of the upcoming DC films, I am most excited about Shazam.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Like, it feels like a DC comic. It, you know, the action is over the top, kind of not really comedic, but light.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shazam in Shazam form looks ridiculous.
He should, and it's amazing.
I mean, there's nobody who has a body exactly like that, so it's so.
I don't even
ridiculous.
think that's Zachary Levi's real body.
No, he is wearing a suit.
Yeah.
And people were like crashing the set.
Really?
And took photos of him in the suit, and it looked ridiculous. But he was on Twitter, and he was like, just wait till they fix everything in post. That's not how it's going to look.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Yeah.
This trailer, it looks comic booky, but in the right ways.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I meant ridiculous in a good way, not ridiculous in a DC way.
Yeah. So movie side, I've got some hope. Aquaman. Again, I haven't seen it yet, but
everybody's going to go see Aquaman anyway. Because
Well,
Jason Momoa.
Right.
I think it looks kind of cool. I'm a little. It reminded me a little too much of Green Lantern. I know, and that like it kind of introduces this whole world. You know, like it's trying to draw you in with its weirdness. Like this experience is a whole new world, but it feels very like this could just be like I don't know, like just brush off. Like I don't.
Basically, a bunch of really nice looking set pieces with nothing tying it together.
Yeah, that's the worry. But Jason Momoa, I think he's going to do really well.
Probably.
Amber Heard, she actually looked really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to steal the show.
Oh, probably.
And Patrick Wilson, when Patrick Wilson is evil, it's like he takes it to the next level when he's evil. So like I'm looking forward to man bun evil Patrick Wilson.
Right.
Bring it on. And also Black Manta, he looks awesome.
Yeah.
Looks super cool.
So Aquaman looks good. Shazam looks really good. Titans not so much on the TV side of things. We did get an announcement of the Stargirl animated series.
Right.
Maybe DC will do the same thing they did to Suicide Squad and go back in and do some reshoots to make it more lighthearted.
Maybe, but probably not.
Not.
I mean, honestly, they built the show around fuck Batman.
It's starting to it's just starting to feel like DC's bread and butter is edgelordiness. Like
the most horrible and stereotypical edgelordiness.
I really think that's who they want to be. You know what I mean? And like fans be like, be more like this. I really don't think they're listening. Like, no. I think they have a goal in mind and they're going to do it. And like, I don't think they like that they made Justice League, to be honest.
Right.
It looks like just play it safe. You know, and I don't know.
I got you.
Shazam looks great though.
I'm interested in Stargirl because it's a Berlanti thing, so it may or may not tie into the Arrowverse. Speaking of the Arrowverse, we had Batwoman announced.
Oh, we did? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Batwoman series.
Oh, cool.
She will be the first Gotham hero to show up in the Berlantiverse.
Now, is that going to be in CW or is that going to be
CW.
Really?
It's going to be tied to Arrow and Flash and legends.
I
and all
heard
that
there was a casting call for that for a lesbian actress too.
Right, so they're going to actually keep her orientation.
Yeah, which be great.
Yeah.
After all the ScarJo we've just been through.
Exactly. So I really want that because I want to see Gotham in the Arrowverse, and I kind of hope that they do with Batwoman what they did with Supergirl. Superman exists. He might show up occasionally, but there's things keeping him away from showing up on the show and fixing everything.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen with Batwoman, where we occasionally see Bruce, but we don't have to have Bruce because she's a capable hero on her own.
Or we could just see Bruce and not Batman.
Exactly.
And that's probably what they're gonna do. Like, and it's so funny. Like, I was reading this interview with one of the writers from Avengers: Infinity War, and somebody had asked him, like, if you could fix DC, what would you do? And he was like, he didn't say anything about edginess or grittiness or colors or anything like that. He just said, like, if you look at Marvel's success, where they really hit it out of the park, is they put all their focus on characters you didn't expect to become big. Like, they came out the gate with Iron Man.
Yeah, nobody had faith in that. I don't think even Marvel expected Iron Man to hit it.
Right.
They had a little bit of faith, but they weren't
expecting. They had
expecting
enough to dump money into it, yes, but they weren't expecting it. They fought for years to have someone else start the phase one.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting because the CW shows are all like third, fourth, fifth stringers.
Oh yeah,
and those shows are like beloved right now.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, the DC movies are like,
hold on. We're gonna have some words.
We are,
because Barry is not fourth, fifth, sixth.
Well, he's not.
He's not part of the Trinity.
Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, he's still. Well, whatever.
Oliver Queen's a badass.
Yes.
Hey, I'm not trying to be offensive here, okay? I'm just trying to tell you where on the line they lay, okay? Well, whatever. I'm just saying, like, I think we're going to start seeing DC reap more reward for being in this phase where they're focusing on Shazam and Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Absolutely.
And the Flash.
That because they have more room to move there, like socially, like culturally,
right? Because
people, like, not the geek culture, but the gen pop.
Yeah, and if the Berlanti crew keeps focusing on those like Batwoman and Stargirl, like they're gonna reap more benefits. I think.
Absolutely.
Especially in stuff.
So other announcements on the comic side of things for DC. They announced DC Comics Black, mature label.
I thought that was Vertigo. Was that supposed to be?
Okay, no. Vertigo is still Vertigo.
Okay.
That's their mature line for like independent books, for things that aren't superhero. These are DC Universe books that are mature themed.
So this is like Marvel Knights.
Kind of. One of the first books
Ultimate Universe.
Right. So one of the first books is Batman Demons, and not necessarily human demons.
Yeah. Got myself on that edge.
Yeah. But it sounds really good. But this stuff sounds really interesting that they are kind of going with more of a mature lean.
Yeah.
They're putting some of like the bigger writers on it. Scott Snyder, not Zack Snyder. Scott Snyder. I follow his Twitter, and there is not a week that goes by where at least 3 people blame him.
I'm surprised it's just a week and not like an hour every hour.
I don't dig through his Twitter that much, but once a week I know I can just pop it open and there will be at least one tweet that's like, "You screwed up the Justice League," and I'm just like, he didn't write Justice League till now. And then I had to go, oh wait, Zack Snyder, wrong dude. But he's writing Batman Demons. I have faith in him because he wrote some really like pushing the edge stuff when he was running Batman for like the last 2 years. He gave us the Court of Owls. He gave us most of like the Red Hood stuff where Bruce and Jason kind of make up, and there's like a whole bunch of like 2 years worth of amazing Batman stories that he put together. So he knows Batman, and he keeps wanting to push that boundary. Well, apparently DC Black label is going to give them that chance to do so.
Right. Out of the two major companies, DC and Marvel, Marvel's always been catering more towards the teenager mindset.
Right, older teenager mindset.
Yeah, right. But I mean, even when their 30-year-old fanboys are bitching that Peter Parker's gotten old.
Right.
But I mean, DC probably has a better chance of capturing the adult.
Absolutely.
Because they've always had more of a grown-up sense.
Right.
If we eliminate the Golden Age comics, which were explicitly written for 9-year-olds.
Right. And I think that's going to be really important to them.
Well, I mean, both companies did try capturing the new generation of readers with their massive reboot things.
Yeah.
Like New 52 and whatever the hell Marvel did.
Let's not start that, because there was Secret War, and then there's been a reboot every 6 months in Marvel.
Right, right. And Marvel really needs to just figure out what it's doing with its books, probably write an entire fucking universe based on their MCU properties.
It does. It's Universe 161.
Okay.
If I remember right. It actually exists in the multiverse.
Of course it does. And DC can build its entire fan base around the more mature things, which will make their movies look better, because suddenly people who like this sort of thing will be like, oh yeah, I really want to see Batman murder people.
Right, exactly. So we have that announcement, some changes to lineups and changes to creative teams. The only one that really caught me, just right off the bat, was Grant Morrison writing Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So,
which Green Lantern is he writing for?
It's going to be Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern. So he's actually picking up that book.
Okay.
So he's writing Hal.
Is he bringing his wizard beard to it?
Yes. Well,
okay.
You know, Grant's perfectly shaven. He doesn't need a beard because he's not that kind of wizard.
It's an invisible wizard beard so that he can fight with, damn it, I forgot his name.
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore, yes. The completely visible wizard.
But the fight is because Grant will not wear a beard.
Whenever you guys mention Alan Moore and Grant Morrison getting into wizard fights, I always think of the episode of South Park where Cartman thinks he's a psychic, and he has those psychic battles with the other psychics. Like, they're making the sound effects.
Yeah.
It's not quite as entertaining.
Except Alan Moore probably thinks he's a wizard, and please don't curse me and my family, Mr. Moore. I do like some of your comics.
And your beard. We like the beard.
I have been growing my beard in solidarity.
Exactly. So, yeah, so for like 30 years, Alan Moore and Grant Morrison have been having this wizard's duel. Because Alan Moore's an old school pagan. Like he's all like, ritual magic and blah, blah, blah.
Druidism.
I believe the term is magician. I believe that's what he refers to himself.
Yes, magician. He doesn't go by wizard. He wizards are fools, apparently.
He uses magic with a K?
Yes. Yes.
And he worships a snake demon.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Well, that's his beard.
You said you knew nothing about him.
I didn't know about the conflict. I know about Alan Moore.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so, yeah.
I
like
the
the book,
I don't want him to kill me.
like the book Promethea was apparently some big giant magic working that he was trying to do to change the world. The problem comes into Alan Moore wants there to be rules and regulations, and the world works this way. Grant Morrison, on the other hand, is a chaos mage. Okay. If you've ever read The Invisibles, which if you haven't, you need to. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
The main
Transmet.
character, yeah, Transmet Metropolitan is amazing. In The Invisibles, the main character of that book is basically Grant Morrison's real life. And
Transmet Metropolitan?
No, The Invisibles.
Oh, okay.
Transmet isn't. He's not. Well, I guess Spider is a bit of him.
Yeah, but I don't think he can do that many drugs.
It's Grant Morrison.
Wait, didn't? Sorry, this is going to totally sidetrack us. I apologize in advance. But didn't those? Don't people kind of claim that those two titles are what might have inspired the Matrix?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Spider's totally like all the Transmet is definitely kind of a.
The world is a simulation kind of thing.
Yes, world simulation kind of thing. Where the Invisibles No, I think that's backwards. Transmet is just about the evolution of humanity past being human. The Invisibles is the entire world's a simulation.
So what kind of what do you think Grant Morrison would bring to something like Green Lantern? Do you think we'd bring that sort of some of that kind of mysticism and
I am both very, very much anticipating this because I could see him try to, because Grant Morrison doesn't work magic directly into things. He's not like fantasy wizards and everything like that. What he tries to do is he tries to use sympathetic magic to affect the real world. So you're going to probably see some sort of insert of himself into the book. Because the writer always exists in Grant Morrison's work. Like when he was writing Hawkman. Or Animal Man. Not Hawkman. Animal Man. He was writing Animal Man. There's an entire plot in Animal Man where Animal Man meets God. And it's Grant Morrison writing the book.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a little...
Yeah. Animal Man is the only person in the DC Comics universe that knows he's a comic book character. And unlike Deadpool, it didn't drive him insane.
So is Grant Morrison going to be a ring?
Oh.
Maybe all the constructs are just going to be Grant Morrison.
No. I forget who the artist is, but from the promo work I've seen, it looks like it's going to be amazing artwork. So I don't think they're all going to be Grant Morrison. One of the cool things and one of the reasons why I like Green Lantern is your artist can go crazy with them.
Yeah.
With it. He can, because it's whatever their imagination can pull out. So Kyle Rayner was amazing because he was an artist. So all this weird stuff would just fling out of the ring, and he, Hal's very military and focused, and it was all like jets and tanks.
Right.
Guy was kind of unfocused, so most of his constructs weren't really constructs, but more just like blam, energy blast, and just ways to hit people really, really hard. And then John Stewart is like an architect, but also a Marine, so it's all like angular and detailed, and you could probably take it apart and figure out how the thing actually works in real life.
We should probably mention that Green Lantern is Hoyt's favorite character of all
It's
time.
my crew. It's my thing, man.
Nice.
There's a lot of reasons why, but yeah, the power, will over reality, man. Which is why I think it makes perfect sense Grant Morrison is writing it.
Yeah.
Because that is all of his shtick. It's just will over reality.
It's like giving Neo a power.
Pretty much. I'm kind of scared that might be what happens. You turn Hal Jordan into Neo. So that's some of the things on the DC side I liked and heard of. Marvel, kind of quiet. I mean, they had like the playable demo for the Spider-Man game there.
I think it was all overshadowed by the James Gunn thing.
Right, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But the big announcement that I picked up on the Marvel side of stuff was the return of Uncanny X-Men.
Nice.
The book's been gone since like early 2017. It's going to pick up in like 2019. And that's like the original book. It's been the Uncanny X-Men forever, and that book's been gone. So we get a flagship book back. Now, on our way to Uncanny X-Men, we have this little event called X-Men Black, where it's like a story about Mystique, Mojo, Apocalypse, and Magneto. And they didn't give out a lot of information on that, but they're going to be individual issues focused on those particular villains.
Mystique,
Mojo, Apocalypse, Magneto. Yeah, and there's one more I can't think of off the top of my head. I think it's Spiral, which goes along with the Mojo stuff. But the reason why that caught my attention was that's Chris Claremont's return to the X-Men. Now, he came back for like Excalibur, and he's come back off and on for like 1 or 2 issues here and there. But, anytime Chris Claremont comes back to the X-Men, it just feels right. The man wrote the book for almost 20 years. He gave us like the Hellfire Club, Kitty Pryde, Psylocke, and being changed from like the British chick with a butterfly on her face to a French assassin lady. And he also, Dark Phoenix Saga, Executioner Song, Inferno, all of that stuff. That's Chris Claremont. If you think of any X-Men event, 9 times out of 10 you're going to pick a Chris Claremont event because that man defined that book. Him coming back and writing Magneto of all books. is just I am happy.
Yeah, that should be interesting. I mean, I'm really familiar with Claremont stuff. I actually kind of think his stuff might be the best stuff in the whole X-Men.
Yeah.
The best they go.
I
Probably because he gets it better than everyone else.
Yeah.
because he created all of it.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, he
that's
pretty
what I
much
was
set the
aiming
precedent
at.
for X-Men. Yeah.
So if you guys are looking for a book to pick up and read, that kind of is a really good example of his stuff. That's kind of short, but kind of a short run. His run of Excalibur before House of M. It's just Charles and Magneto step on Genosha together, and it's like 13 issues of them trying to work out this puzzle. And
A jigsaw puzzle?
well, no, more like a puzzle box.
Oh, those are never good.
Yeah, and it ends with House of M starting. So
See, yeah, they had such sights to show them.
yeah, exactly. But if you know, it's like 13 issues long. If you want to pick it up, that is probably one of the best modern stories that he's got. Something classic, Inferno, pick up the Phoenix Saga, pick up, you know, the ones that really define the X-Men.
You know what I like about the early Claremont stuff? It's like it's before Wolverine really took off,
Oh yeah,
and so he really is just like he's still pretty essential, but he's still just a member of the team and not like a total media whore.
right. He's at the focal point because
Yeah.
he gets all the media attention.
Nothing's more whorish than Wolverine in the 90s, I swear.
Well, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's his fault, it's just everybody wanted to buy anything that said Wolverine on it.
Very true. All right, so yeah, again, Marvel didn't have a whole lot that caught my attention, but there was some other stuff that wasn't connected directly to the con. So JP.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the reasons why is because Marvel, you know, owned by Disney. Disney now has their own con D23. That's sort of I think wasn't it like announced at one point where they were just going to start rolling things back just to be exclusively for D23 instead of other cons.
Not
I don't know if they're right.
like every other year was supposed to be that.
Yeah.
Which I think this is that year.
Cool.
Because you're probably that's where you're going to see like Captain Marvel's
Because
trailer.
D23 is every other year.
Yeah.
So like maybe every year they have D23, then maybe they won't be it.
Why is it
Right.
called D23?
I have no
Disney
idea.
23. I don't know
I
exactly where the 23
caught the
comes from.
Disney part, but
I don't know. There's lots of Disney numbers that I don't get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's part of their weird numerology stuff.
Yeah.
if there's any Disney fans out there who can explain this to us,
23.
hit the comments.
23 communists that Walt Disney's had killed. I don't know.
Who knows? By the way, if you're enjoying this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us exactly why the 23 and D23 stands for Walt Disney's head killing Nazis.
Yeah. Oh well, he wouldn't kill the
and
Nazis.
ring my bell.
And ring the bell.
Yeah.
No, I
Smash
just want
that
the
bell.
I just want the Donna Summer song.
I can't do that because of content.
Right,
ID.
right. They could just play it to us
Oh, okay.
in the comments. Just
Gotcha.
ring my bell over and over and over again.
So, some other stuff that went down at Comic-Con. One thing that I thought was pretty cool was the announcement of Glass, the sequel to M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable.
And Split.
And Split.
And Split, that's right, because Split is a sneaky spin-off cycle of Unbreakable.
No. Directly in the universe.
It is, yeah, it is in the universe.
It was just never really announced as part of it until you got to the twist at the end,
right.
where he reused his music and you were mad.
Yeah, it's. I haven't shared on the podcast. I just told the story, but I saw Split, and
Spoilers.
yeah, spoilers to Split, but you should know by now we're talking about this movie.
Right.
But Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable shows up at the end of Split, and you kind of learn that this takes place in the same universe. But what's funny is like before it gets to that scene, James McAvoy is having doing a monologue or whatever, and they start playing the music from Unbreakable. When that started to happen, I was like getting mad. I was like, "Oh, great! That's real nice, M. Night Shyamalan. You're recycling your music, freaking pretentious jerk." And then Bruce Willis shows up, like, "Oh, whoa!"
I take all that back, but whoa!
And then this week we get the trailer, and I'm interested.
I'm interested. I want to see it. I didn't think Split was great.
A lot of people had problems with Split, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not his best. It's not Shyamalan's best.
I mean, aside from whatever's going on with the film, the entire portrayal of dissociative identity disorder was completely off, and a lot of people were pissed.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of
But-
ableist problems with it. And stuff.
Yeah.
And even for me personally, like portrayal of like mental illness in horror movies is really kind of dumb for me. Like
It's
it's kind of
always.
dated.
Yeah.
But
I'm just glad it wasn't another autistic savant, because those got used to hell and back in horror movies for a while.
right, yeah. But this movie Glass looks great, and you know when I saw Unbreakable as a kid, it like blew my mind when I saw it in theaters because you know for those of you who weren't alive back then or weren't seeing movies back then, when it came out, nobody knew what the hell it was.
Oh no, we just knew it was an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong
No,
movie.
come on.
I can never pronounce it.
It's
so
a Shyamalan.
Shyamalan
Shyamalan.
Ding Dong.
Oh,
Shama
Lord.
lama lama, don't be scared. You think you're so bad, but you wanna-
But yeah, I mean, that was what, his third release movie?
Well, I mean, fourth technically, but we don't count those first two films. Sixth Sense. It's his first movie since it was his first movie after Sixth Sense.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so basically his second.
He was riding that wave of fame and hype and being the next Steven Spielberg, as is pointed out in Newsweek that year.
Yeah.
We always do that.
I know.
Oh, that guy's
I
the
know.
next Spielberg.
Yeah.
And Spielberg's probably like, what?
I'm still
I
alive.
still make movies.
Yeah, and so the trailer, they only had one trailer for the movie, and it was like Bruce Willis in a hospital, and they're explaining to him that he survived a train crash, and that's it.
Yep.
And I went into that movie as a young, impressionable 17-year-old boy who loved movies and had nothing to do on a Friday night and was actually waiting for his friends to go see another movie, which was going to pay it forward. It was going to be people were going to watch Pay It Forward. I was waiting for my friends to watch Pay It Forward. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that movie was the greatest thing ever.
I know,
We-
and to
we
think-
never
and-
shut up about that movie.
And to kind of, it's kind of funny because like this was my waste time movie, Unbreakable. Like I thought I was just killing time, and like it blew my freaking mind. And I came out of that movie, and my friends showed up. I'm like, we're not seeing Pay It Forward. We're gonna go watch Unbreakable. I just got out of it. I'm seeing it again, so we must do that. And I loved it. Awesome movie. And back then, Shyamalan had talked a lot about doing a trilogy
Mm-hmm.
using the character, but it never really panned out.
Right,
But
and
then-
so many of us were like, I would love to see a universe of this before,
Yeah.
Everything was a
cinematic
universe.
universes were a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing at all. What is? I mean, even thinking back then, when the mere mention of it was like, that's not what sequels are.
Right.
You know, and these movies like this don't get sequels. Now, like everything gets a freaking sequel on
Oh,
a spin-off
right.
and a TV
Right.
show adaptation.
Like,
and
virtually everything comes with that
Yeah.
sequel tease at the end, and
Yeah.
we're like, I'm not going to see the second one, and lo and behold, the second one never gets made.
So the prospect of this has always been really exciting since when the announcement split came out, and the trailer I thought was really good. I thought it was
Oh, yeah.
cool seeing Samuel L. Jackson again as Mr. Glass.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be great.
I'm totally down for this whole like mastermind villain, and then like the attack dog villain.
Yeah, which is a trope they bring up in the first Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see that, and also it'll be fun to revisit David Dunn's character because they show. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised how much they show. Like he really is just kind of walking around like a superhero, just saving the day every now and then.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of weird because like our superhero movies aren't like that at all.
Right.
Like,
Right.
He's like going into homes like, are there any intruders in here? You okay?
Right. But we also see too in that trailer that he's locked up too.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to
Yeah.
watch because like he doesn't have to get locked up. He could definitely just like walk through a wall.
Right.
Yeah, everybody in that
Unless
movie.
they put him around a pool.
Right, that's true.
And then, by the way, side note,
Yeah.
does this connect to Signs?
No.
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
You sure Mr. Dunn wasn't a
Well,
experimentation by the aliens?
if you watch the True Life documentary, The Buried Secret of M. Night Shyamalan, every single movie is connected in some way.
yeah, because he's in all of them.
That's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true too.
Yeah. Oh, wonder. Oh, he's gonna be in this movie. Who's gonna play in this one?
He killed the guy's wife in Signs,
Yeah.
and then was like, "Sorry, I'm still drunk."
So I'm looking forward to it. I don't think we're at peak Shyamalan anymore. But I the way I feel about filmmakers is I always want to give them a shot, even
Yeah.
if they did direct.
I don't think we've been at a peak since The Village.
Not well, in my opinion, Unbreakable. But
Right. I mean, I think Village was really when we stopped going to every one of them, and then he put out
The Happening.
Yeah, The Happening is
The
so
Happening is so great, and we just misjudged it when it came out.
great. What? No.
What?
Yeah, it was Shyamalan doing a... Oh, I said it right. High fives.
There you go. You said it right. That's right.
Shyamalan was doing a B-grade movie
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
with The Happening.
Yeah,
But we all went and saw a B-grade movie, and we were like, this is dumb.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm interested in seeing it play out because there's no more like twists or surprises anymore that we know.
You say that.
Yeah, and
There's going to be, and we might not even notice it.
Haley Joel Osment shows up at the end.
or the aliens show up. And
I'm telling you,
Mr. Glass and the Beast and Unbreakable Bruce Willis have to fight the aliens from Signs.
Right.
With the help of Haley Joel Osment and his ghost powers.
Right. Right. And Bruce Willis gets 2 paychecks because he's playing the ghost from Sixth Sense. And
it all goes down in a village.
It all goes down in a village that thinks it's the 80s.
And Bruce Willis is drowning, and the lady from the water saves him.
And brings him back up.
And then all of a sudden, the old lady turned out to be the devil.
Exactly.
Because the toast landed on its jelly.
There we go.
And then Mr. Wahlberg shows up and is like, what? No.
And then they have to fight plants.
And then, at the very end, he goes, no. And we zoom out, and we just see M. Night Shyamalan pitching this idea to a Hollywood executive.
Oh,
and
God.
they just go, no.
You know what? I don't care what anybody says. I will put my entire reputation on the line for this. I would stand up and cheer if this happened. I would stand up and cheer if he brought it all together in one movie.
I would watch that movie.
I'd watch it twice.
Yeah.
I fuck pay it forward. We're watching this.
All right.
And
so,
Batman. Fuck him, too.
Yeah, so anyway, that's my thoughts on Glass. And then another announcement that happened over the weekend that didn't happen at San Diego, but it was definitely adjacent and definitely probably announced because of San Diego hype, was that the Buffy reboot.
Right.
Yeah, the reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Is it going to be an actual reboot, or is it going to be a soft reboot, or...
So...
I mean, I know you absolutely abhor the term soft reboot.
I do.
I read your Twitter.
Yeah, I do. I know. It's just really weird, by the way. I'm because like Twitter is like I'm way more like Firebrand than I am on Facebook.
And what's your Twitter?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to. I don't want to. Like it's not. No.
Ours is the Geeks Respite.
I didn't know we had a Twitter.
We do.
Oh.
I'll announce it soon. Because it's
after he gets done cleaning up all his old messages.
Yeah, well, after what happened over the weekend, probably.
Let's get back to Buffy before we get into that.
Yeah, so Buffy's coming back, and it's good that you brought that up, because honestly, I've read 3 different trades, not just geek blogs or outlets or whatever, like 3 like actual trades that covered it, and they all use different language to describe this thing.
What, like English and French and shit?
Yeah, one's in Pig Latin, one is in
well, that makes sense.
One is in Elvish, the other's in Klingon. Anyway, 3 different trades, but they use different language. Like one of them makes it very clear that like no, Buffy is going to be black.
Okay.
Another one seems like they're not really sure what they mean by reboot, like because they keep saying like, oh, it's a new Slayer.
So what did Joss say?
Well, he doesn't have. There weren't any official quotes from Joss or the new show.
I don't think Joss even has a Twitter anymore. He keeps deleting it.
He has a Twitter. It's just at Joss.
Oh.
But it's not very active. But the news is that it's coming back. Joss Whedon is taking an executive producer role. He's not being a showrunner, which means he's going to try to bring money to it, not really take a huge creative role. Maybe a little bit. They're still working on the script, and he actually hired a showrunner for her. Her name is Monica Ulusu-Breen, and she's from like Lost and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
She's actually has a lot of cred. She's a black woman. Good. She's a black woman, so that kind of leads me to believe that maybe it was her idea.
Right.
Which, to be honest, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
There has been some outcry.
There's always outcry.
Hold on. There's outcry that there's a woman.
No, it
in
was
a show?
it was accepted with arms wide open. Everybody was very cool with it, very even tempered.
They're like, why did you cast a black woman in the white woman's role?
Basically, what's happening? So, okay, they're putting
Heimdall
together.
all over again.
They're putting together like a whole package. Like they're still working on the script. He's helping her work on the script, and they're gonna basically put together a pilot that's being funded, I guess, by 20th Century Fox, and they're gonna shop it around to streaming services and other networks and stuff. So like we don't even. I think the reason why the language is so muddled is because they probably haven't even really decided yet.
So basically, there's the announcement is sort of like, we're doing a thing.
Yeah.
What about the thing?
Buffy is Buffy is definitely coming back. It's a little bit up in the air if it's going to be like a brand new take on Buffy, or we're continuing the mythology, but with a black woman instead of Buffy.
But
or Buffy could be black. It could be either one.
According to the lore, he could just move it to a different city.
Yeah, I mean exactly. Where seasons have left off, we have a world full of Slayers.
Yeah.
So like he totally could, and a lot of fans want that. But if you know I understand why he wouldn't, because there's a lot of baggage already with like
there's like 4 comic series, basically season 12.
I mean I can't see them building on that.
Plus the Angel stuff, which
Yes.
happened in the same world.
All those comics are so bad, but I mean personally, I could go either one. I can see why he'd want like a clean reboot, because it's just ditching all the baggage and wanting to come up with a character for a new generation. And you know how many times have like iconic characters been rebooted and stuff? Like,
Oh yeah.
You know, we have Tim Burton's Batman, we have Christopher Nolan's Batman, we have all those different James Bonds and all those Godzillas. And they all serve their different purposes for their time and place. And you know, the way I see it, we've had 7 seasons of Buffy, and they were wonderful. And we had 5 seasons of Angel, which explored mythology even more.
We had an awesome 2-hour-long movie that doesn't get acknowledged at all.
You know what? As bad as that movie is, I think it's enjoyable enough.
I love that movie.
What, the original movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It had its
It
moments.
also had Luke Perry in it.
Yeah, and
It
it
did.
also and Pee Wee Herman.
Yes.
It did. Paul Rubens is amazing in that.
Paul Rubens post Scandal.
Christy Swanson
Yes.
might be a conservative reactionary now, but
It happens.
We're not talking politics yet.
So I mean, I'm down with it. Like, just go for it. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people say, well, just continue from a different universe or whatever. Well, you know, continuing it the same way like X-Files did. X-Files sucked. I don't know if you guys watched the.
I watched like the first half of the newest,
I
the
didn't
original
watch
of
any
the
of them.
return season.
I watched the first revival series.
It was so boring.
It was not great. There was the one episode with the lizard person I thought was really funny.
That was kind of funny. But
But-
overall, the mystery was so bad.
Yeah, I know. They really... And it's because Chris Carter was in charge of everything. When they brought it back again, I couldn't even finish it. It was so
I
bad.
didn't even start it.
It's just not good. So I think you kind of run a risk of it being really bad by taking that approach.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So you were talking about.
Yeah, I just think if they're going to reboot it and have Buffy as a black woman, I think that's a really bold thing to do and really interesting, and could provide a lot of great opportunity for great stories. And I'm more on board with that than I am with like a different Slayer in this world that already has all this established mythology that was made specifically for these characters anyway. You know, and it feels we you know. What's the quote? Nothing good lasts forever, and like the worst things just keep going.
Yeah.
Like the bad things will just I don't know.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that if Goss is involved, it'll probably turn out well, and it'll turn out exactly what he wanted. I mean, the guy doesn't shit gold all the time.
Right.
Like, not everybody liked the Dollhouse.
Yeah, I thought it was okay, but
I thought it was okay, but it wasn't, you know, oh my God, take my pants.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But it was
Which
a
is
fun,
not a thing anyone says, by the way.
You know what's interesting about the Dollhouse? It kind of shows like how I feel about creators and stuff. The reason why that show lasted as long as it did wasn't so much because of the ratings. It was because the people who were in charge of it, who were like his producers, the network executives, they just liked the show.
Yeah.
They liked it.
That's really weird.
And it's weird in this day and age, right? Like, to hear that, like, oh, producers liked it, that's why it stayed on, because they just liked it, not because it made money?
Yeah, like,
So,
Firefly got canceled after one season because nobody liked it.
That's
Right.
not true, because the government.
that's right.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so that's my opinion on Buffy. And
So like you said, the internet was a happy place afterwards.
oh, they loved
yeah,
it. They
you know.
loved the idea. They're so pumped.
You
Monica Breen has already got 1 billion letters of encouragement.
It's amazing.
If you just type in @Joss and just look at those mentions, it's just hearts and birds and stars and rainbows everywhere.
I think the only person having a better time on Twitter right now is James Gunn.
Oh yes.
Yes,
James Gunn.
Gunn.
Now we're going to talk about that.
Okay. So
Hold on, let me get comfortable first.
I'll make this really quick. Because
Okay, go.
I'll make this real quick because people who listen to this probably already know what's going on. Probably.
Hopefully. I mean,
Okay.
we're not that popular of a show. We're not going to get people that don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Hey, I got us 4 views last time.
You did.
So James
4.
Of 11. So nice job.
So James Gunn was fired off of Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Because it wasn't making money. Right?
Exactly, and the producers don't like it. So no, James Gunn was fired off of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 over some very offensive and very in bad taste tweets that he made
Like last week.
yesterday. No, 10 years ago. I would say. I think between 6 to 10 years ago.
And he totally deleted them, right?
Yeah.
The earliest one I saw was 2009, so...
Yeah. So, and this was definitely a different time in James Gunn's life, back when he was a big Troma guy. Like, he was coming off of Troma. He had just made Romeo and Juliet. He made...
You're going to have to explain what trauma is
No, you might
to a
not.
lot of
Well,
people.
You might have to a little bit.
Okay, well, I mean, do it. Like, Troma is a studio started by filmmaker Lloyd Kaufman, who created Toxic Avenger. Troma is known for very schlocky, gore, gross, raunchy, comedy, horror, sci-fi stuff.
Intentionally being offensive.
Yeah.
It's also where Matt and Trey picked up the kind of the musical and got
Yes.
it distributed. But
God bless Troma. But it is definitely a gross place, and so you can imagine the kind of people that came out of it. James Gunn being one of them, and probably the most successful person to come out of it. I guess Lloyd Kaufman is successful as well.
I think technically I'm successful compared to Lloyd Kaufman.
That's probably true.
And I'm on the internet
Hey,
begging for money.
He's married to the film commissioner of New York. So.
Oh, well, I don't have that going for me.
But so yeah, he's a big Troma guy. So at the time, he's very.
gross out humor, being offensive.
He
trying
used
to-
Twitter to just shock people, and
Right.
actually a good illustration of who James Gunn was, and he's said this many times, is Rocket Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Someone who thought that the best way to live life was to push people away and to shock people and
Right.
offend.
And so when he grew up a little bit, he deleted all those tweets and never said anything about them.
No, he did not. Apparently, they stuck around. I don't know why he didn't delete them. Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Well,
Just-
because he's already apologized for it once.
That's true. He had written some article about lesbian superheroes or whatever, and that got found out by some outlets, and people held him accountable for it. And he apologized for it. He said, "I was a
Yes,
different
sir.
person back then. I was a different person back then. You're right. You're all right. Is offensive." And he even deleted that, I think. But here's the thing. This was not something that was brought up by, oversensitive, angry moms or whatever, or virtue signaling leftists. The people that brought this to light were part of the alt-right. One such member of the alt-right.
So many dislikes on this one.
Well, probably. I don't know. You're going to make me
Remember where
paranoid.
you buy your tiki torches.
Yeah, and
People who are about to dislike this.
and it's not an exaggeration. The people who collected these tweets and made screenshots of all these tweets and made a huge stink were people who were members of the alt-right and people who follow the alt-right, big personalities in that alt-right. And it was all in bad faith. They're all saying, so like the jokes were all about pedophilia, which is awful and disgusting and horrible. But the people who found these tweets they're bad faith actors. They took them very seriously, and they said this guy is actually a pedophile for making these jokes. And the ground zero tweet was James Gunn had posted a link to a children's choir that sang the song "I Touch Myself."
That's what the final.
Yeah. And the children's choir, it's not really even children's choir. It's that group that does like all the pop songs, not kids pop. But the one they used all the songs for trailers for a while. Like they did like Radiohead's "Creep." They did "Nothing Else Matters." They're actually really cool. But they also did that song "I Touch Myself." He posted this. James Gunn posted this tweet years ago, saying like 100 pubescent girls touch themselves, and it was a link to the music video. So, one alt-right personality, very famous alt-right personality, found this one, took a screenshot of it, blacked out the link, and said that James Gunn is posting child pornography on Twitter, and he tagged the FBI, and he said if you want the link, you can subpoena for it, even though the link was to a YouTube video of this band singing this song.
So, it was intentional trying to destroy this guy, all because he doesn't agree with these people politically.
Yeah, and it's so weird that Disney would cave in, because this has happened before, and James Gunn did this to Sam Cedar, a reporter for MSNBC. But when MSNBC found out who was at the center of it, they rehired him.
Right.
So I mean, there could be a chance that Disney gets a stuff. I think Disney's just
James Gunn did this to Cedar.
No. Mike Cernovich from
okay, because you said James Gunn and
oh, I didn't mean to say that. That's not what I meant. I meant the alt-right personality.
Oh,
Mike.
no. You've done it now.
Yeah, the alt-right personality Mike Cernovich was the one who tried to get Sam Cedar fired. MSNBC noticed who Mike Cernovich was, and rehired Sam Cedar because they knew he was a bad faith actor, and that he was just
stirring it up.
Yeah. So James Gunn is another victim of that, and now they're going after Michael Ian Black and Dan Harmon, and it's frankly frightening. My opinion of it is, of course, that it's rehire because it's a hit job because James Gunn is not that person anymore, and he said so himself. And if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, if you watch his interviews, hell, if you follow him on Twitter, you know he's not the same person. The reason why this is done is because James Gunn is also a vocal critic of Donald Trump, and that really pissed off some people.
Yeah, but this kind of leads into my topic at the same time, because I haven't been paying attention to anything in a while, right?
Yeah.
Not like drill focused on Marvel, DC, or anything. I've been watching lots of shit go on, and over the past decade or so, it's been harder and harder to have conversations with people about geeky stuff without politics leaking in.
It's true.
He's looking directly at me, by the way.
That's because he's on the other side of the mic, and I like to focus on things when I talk. And it just feels weird to stare at a mic while I talk.
That's okay.
But, I mean, no matter where you're going, every topic I have run into has weirdly had some kind of a political hook in that you could use. I'm a member of a Shadowrun discussion group on Facebook. And I don't know if you know this, but Shadowrun happens in, 2077. In a alternate future where the Mayan calendar dictated that everything was going to change in 2012 and people turned into trolls and dwarves and stuff like fantasy D&D races, and we're in the cyberpunk future and all that. And they have moderators on hard watch for a lot of threads simply because people will come into those threads and grab a handful of whatever is being talked about and run it into a politics conversation.
Right.
So they're basically using the group to rant about what's going on politically. Is that
or
finding something political within their whatever the Shadowrun stuff is, or
right? A little of that, a little bit of just trolling the opposition, I actually got warned once because somebody had posted a picture of the Taurus Judge, which is a handgun that is designed to be able to fire 410 shot shell in the group. and asking for what kind of stats would you put on this, and I was discussing all the interesting crap about the gun, because the gun was specifically designed to evade the spirit of gun laws while sticking to the letter of gun laws.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a handgun. Absolutely no way it should have a shoulder holster. It's got a
Barrel.
rifled barrel, so that it avoids the shotgun designation entirely. And I got warned for talking about the laws involved with this. I wasn't even going, these laws are bad or anything. I was just saying the interesting thing about this gun is how far they went to make sure that it would be legal.
Right. Well, it's just like walk into any Star Wars group now and just actually don't
Yeah.
don't walk into the Star Wars
Yeah,
group right now.
and I'm sure everybody's aware of the Sad Puppies thing with the Hugo Awards by now,
Right.
where a whole bunch of conservative, the Hugos is a award given to Sci-Fi works.
Right.
It's a fan-based award. They all go to a convention, they all vote, and there's a bunch of different categories. It's like the Oscars for sci-fi books.
It's also one of the places where Neil Gaiman got recognition for Sandman and also started a giant flame war because Sandman was a comic book, not a real book.
Right.
So it winning a Hugo shouldn't have happened.
Right.
So
and
these guys are known for their even keel and respect for writing.
Yeah. It was,
Right.
Yeah.
and this award's been around for like 60 years by now,
Yeah.
70 years, something like that. George R.R. Martin's been a loser of the Hugos for a long time.
It's actually pretty kind of funny about the Hugo Awards. What I know about the Hugo Awards is that apparently Community was nominated for a Hugo Award.
For the D&D episode?
No, it was for the spatial quantum time.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Darkest Universe.
The dice.
Yeah, the Darkest Universe.
episode. Yeah, Darkest Timeline.
Darkest Timeline.
Yeah, that got nominated, and so Dan Harmon actually showed up to the Hugo Awards with some of his friends, and apparently they were treated like second-class citizens because they're not real sci-fi.
Yeah.
So back to the Sad Puppies
But
stuff.
basically, there's been this movement in a lot of circles in the last decade that we need to start looking at representation in our media. Like, we need more black people in future.
To show that black people exist in the future.
Yeah, more women, more black women, more trans folks,
Right.
etc., because representation really does matter. Like, who's going to be your superhero if all the superheroes are all white guys?
And you're told you can't look up to those guys because you're not.
Right, and you can't even cosplay as them because that's wrong. That's a whole other... Holy crap, that's a landmine right there. But
It's not walk around.
so a lot of the Hugo bigwig, big talky guys like John Scalzi and stuff have been nominating books and pieces by people of color, of women, etc., and the old guard of the Hugos were thought, for whatever reason, that these books were being put up simply because they featured women or were written by women.
Cries of tokenism.
Right. They believed it had nothing to do with the merit of them. And so they started the Sad Puppies thing where they basically just started building this slate of voting for everybody in their crew. You guys all vote for these books because these are the ones that we recommended. Not kidding. Yeah, it culminated, I think it was last year, in the No Award Hugo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because because enough people voted no award in protest of the Sad Puppy slate
Yep.
that nothing won that Hugo.
Yep.
And like the Sad Puppies are all just running around going, "We want meritocracy," and everybody else is like, "We're not nominating shitty books."
Yeah.
You're right.
And the same thing's happening with the Oscars.
Yeah. The all white Oscars or what?
Oscars so white.
Oscars
Yeah.
so white, yeah. And every time you're like, hey, look at this other thing that's features minorities, for lack of a better term here, that is just as good as the shit you wanted me to watch. They're like, oh, you only like that because of the tokens. What?
Okay.
No. But I mean, everywhere you go, in geekdom, in anything, there's this serious political bent going on where everybody's on the conservative and liberal teams just waiting for their chance to jump each other.
Right. So you kind of don't have your safe space anymore.
No, our safe space has been overrun by politics.
There is one safe space,
What?
friends. There is one. I
Nothing?
found it. You know, I don't think I even want to say it, because if I say it, it's going to get rated, and I'm not going to have a
No
safe
one
space
listens.
anymore. And
No one listens to it.
So
Fine.
the 11 people who listen to this do
It's-
not rate this.
the subreddit DVD collection. It's just people posting their DVD collections, and it's wonderful. Okay, that's all people talk about. I promise. No one ever talks about politics. It's just here's
And
here's
as
my
you-
haul today. Oh, cool. Where do you get that? I got it at a thrift shop. Oh man, I wish my thrift shop had that.
And as you say this, some alt-righter or some heavy left-winger is just getting ready to be like, but those movies don't have blah representation. And then it begins.
That's my safe space. If you'd like to.
Rate it and turn it into a dystopian political war zone. But yeah, I mean, traditionally our gaming, our comics, everything else was our safe space. It was our place to go to be ourselves.
Because no one liked us.
Yeah.
Right. I'll do the generation gap in geekdom next
Yeah, we'll do that
next
time,
one,
right?
because I apparently just bring heavy topics to the table.
No, it's good, because you know what you're bringing up is something that I've been, and it's probably something weird to bring up in a podcast called the Geeks Respite, which is, you know, do I still want to call myself a geek or a nerd?
Right.
Especially after, and this happened after what happened with Kelly Marie Tran.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The fandoms are trash.
Yeah, and especially with when the whole Star Wars Last Jedi thing has been happening, which, by the way, I watched again for the first time since I saw it in theaters, and it was like, this movie is incredible. I don't know what the frickin' problem is.
And again, that's a giant political thing, because
Yeah, I know.
because the most of the alt-right is a very, patriarchal society
Yeah.
kind of vision they want.
And also, so much of it is like I said, with Cernovich, it's all
Yeah,
bad faith.
Bad
acting.
faith acting.
And
And the Pizzagate motherfuckers.
oh my god, yeah, and that's terrifying. But like I said, it's something I've been kind of wrestling with. Is like, do I follow somebody on Twitter who's a writer. He wrote this book called Shock Value. It's about horror movies in the 70s and stuff, and how that started in the movement. And he posted an article where he actually interviewed Chris Hardwick. And we all know what happened to Chris Hardwick recently. This author, Jason Zinnemann, check out his books.
Is he the guy with that talk show that's really interesting but weird?
No.
This talk show is The Talking Dead, which is where they talk about the
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, no.
it's a different Chris then.
Yeah.
So this guy interviewed Chris Hardwick, and they were trying to get to the bottom of like what nerd actually means, and it just kind of boiled down to like, a nerd is just someone who's enthusiastic about things.
No.
And
No.
then and the point was that he was trying to make was that like the word nerd and geek and stuff has been shifting for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of a review that Roger Ebert wrote about Revenge of the Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise. And the review starts off with, "These aren't nerds. They're interesting. They're too interesting. They're too nice. They're funny. They're just lonely people. Like this is not the definition of nerd. A nerd is someone who is not elegant, who does not consider people's feelings, and blah blah blah." And it's so weird how it shifts so much, because like when we think of nerd, we think of Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like the paradigm of Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
Lovable, misunderstood, kind of clumsy, not intelligent.
Not cool.
Yeah, but like intelligent, and has certain interests that don't really jive with like the rest of the world.
Right, not socially viable.
And I feel like, and what Zinnemann was trying to say was saying like it's shifting more because as they have become Marie Tran, and then a bunch of like nerd personalities turning out to be dicks. It could be going through another shift where it's like something super negative. You know,
It's very true. I mean, okay, so we are the Geeks Respite. This is the place where we're not supposed to be talking about this kind of stuff. It's a place to come and
That's
relax
true. Yeah.
and chill.
Yeah,
But-
I'm sorry, but
No,
I mean, sometimes these things need to be
they have to be
explored
said. And
so
but
that
it's
we
also
can notice them.
right. It's also because this is a safe place.
Yeah.
This is a place where you come and you talk about this stuff.
Right.
Because we're at the very core, we're all geeks. We're all nerds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a friend of mine way back in the day said, if you can throw dice, you can sit at the table. It doesn't matter who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. There seems to be, so over like the last 10, 15-ish years, right, probably kind of a little
I'd
bit
say
more.
when during that Comic-Con with Spider-Man and Lord of the Rings.
Right, so 2001, 2002,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. You start seeing the overtake of culture by our culture.
Right, right. The Geeks won shortly into the yachts.
The Geeks won as soon as Spider-Man made $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lord of
we'll
the
be
Rings.
realistic.
Lord of the
Like,
Rings.
Hoyt and I grew up at a time when the Geeks were not winning.
No,
We,
no.
we were at war with the jocks, even though that sounds really goddamn silly to say as a guy who's almost 40.
It's funny because I was at war with like the kids who thought they were Nirvana.
Right, but there's always been wars within the sect. You know? But
And then, yeah, we hit our mid-20s and suddenly everybody wants to be us and we're like,
why?
whose fault is this? Steve Jobs, you motherfucker!
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a combination of the success of the geek films and the Apple gadgets that really put it over.
Totally.
Yeah, because suddenly we were needed.
It's very true. True.
Because
And-
everybody had fucking iPhones and iPads. And,
right, and the internet took off.
Yeah.
You know, like from like 1990 to about 2001, the internet existed,
Right.
but
Yeah.
no one really knew how to use it.
And,
And then,
I mean, there were the AOL kids back then.
right, but
But,
like early to mid 2000s, the internet exploded as being something that's kind of important, and then we became important because we knew
Yeah.
how it worked.
especially when broadband went everywhere.
Yep,
Instead of everybody using 56K modems,
exactly.
dial-ups.
So, you know,
There's a huge culture shift right about then, and we can peg it on to like a handful of things.
mhm.
But I think what's interesting, like, and I think what you're sort of noticing in your group is that there's another, and what I'm noticing on Twitter is there's another shift happening.
Yeah, where
And it's actually a scarier shift.
It's-
it's not a fun shift.
it's an incredibly scary shift because we're not sorting ourselves by our likes and dislikes anymore. We're sorting ourselves by which party color are you.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
We're going hardcore into politics.
Right.
Most of us don't know shit about politics.
Exactly.
Let me just state that right out.
Well, yeah. Well,
I know quite a bit about politics. I'm not like a poli-sci major or anything, but
Yeah, I mean, we are kind of losing our overarching like banner, our big tent. That's just like, you are geek, come with us.
oh no, everybody's a geek now.
Yeah.
Geeksaresexy.net.
we're not sexy.
Patton Oswalt said so.
Some of them are. But
Yeah,
you know,
Lily
it's,
Trant's pretty cute.
yeah, it is one of the downfalls to our rise as the dominant culture, because when everyone defines themselves as that culture, then you start finding your other deficiencies or your other differences, because we as people don't exist as a unified force but as tribes.
Right, and I think a lot of it has to do with the current and previous president.
Yeah.
Like, you could not be lukewarm about Obama. You either loved him or you hated him. I tried to be lukewarm about Obama.
The current Cheeto is also the same way.
Yeah, at Trump you can't be
No way.
you can't be lukewarm at. I can't. I try really hard to be middle of the road on some of these things because I know a lot of these things are a lot more complex than the meme pictures I get.
Yeah.
And I keep finding out they're not. That 20-word meme is exactly all the information about the subject that we're going to get.
You know, then I have a friend that after the election, you know, sums it up pretty well. Everyone gets one.
Yeah.
And he wasted it before his inauguration. But, so, we're going to end on a downer.
Aww.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Unicorns.
Yay! Unicorns!
Now we can end.
No. We're going to end on some good news that I saw today. One more trailer that I saw today that you guys probably haven't, and I loved it. And it's the Teen Titans Go trailer.
Oh, I've seen that one tons of times. Yeah.
I hate Teen Titans Go, but I want to see the movie.
It looks funny. I think
Like,
it
looks exactly...
I love that Nicolas Cage is Superman.
I do too.
Finally?
Yes.
That's only been 25 years.
Oh, the other announcement this past week. Yeah. Speaking of Nick Cage, he's voicing Spider-Man Noir in the Into the Spider-Verse cartoon as well. So he's voicing the Spider-Man from the 30s. It's in, like, you know, 1930s mob noir film.
He also has a movie coming out in the fall that looks badass. It's called Mandy. Look it up.
Oh. Is he out of debt finally?
Probably.
It looks... We're going to watch it. I'm going to show it to you guys.
Oh, okay.
It looks good.
But I'm just saying, we know Nicolas Cage as being a guy who takes every terrible role because he was like $10 million in debt.
We will talk about him next time around.
Nice.
So, with that, hey, everybody. Thank you for coming to the Geeks Respite. And like, comment, subscribe, tweet JP your horrible tweets, and tweet me your happy stuff at the Geeks Respite.
And ring my bell.
Yes, ring his bell. We'll see you guys when we see you.